All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Kasugi Survives here, Dream Championship Wrestling, episode number 10. And today is the big event, the kickoff of the really lethal lottery, the Wheel of Dreams. I am so excited to get started. Before we jump into that, we've got some big news, and we need to get this out of the way right now. The big news that literally just happened. Right before we hit record on this episode, we got a phone call. We were able to finalize a deal. Literally taking a superstar off of the current WWE roster. We've poached the talent. Dare I say that the official wrestling wars have now commenced. I don't think Stephanie and Triple H are going to be very happy with us, but we have got a big time star. And to make it even better, this star said, not only do I want to wrestle and compete in Dream Championship Wrestling, I want to debut in the Wheel of Dreams. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this new wrestler is part of the Wheel of Dreams. You're going to see the debut today. Who will he face? We don't know, but you're going to find out soon. All right, something a little different. We normally don't do this, but we've had some interesting social media activity. I thought you guys might enjoy seeing some of these posts. Starting off with CM Punk, he made a post, sorry Eric, I'm assuming referring to Eric Rowan, for the vicious attack in the back. He then thanked Charles Young. He says, see you soon. So I don't know if that means we're going to see CM Punk crashing the party in Dream Championship Wrestling again. Is CM Punk going to sign with Dream Championship Wrestling? Then he has a hashtag FUDCW. I think I know what that means, but we can't say that during this program. Claudio Castagnoli, RVD, I'm undefeated. You're the champ. Let's do this. He wants to be a two-time champ or a double champ, and we're going to be touching on this a little bit more later as well. We also had a reporter that asked Stephanie McMahon what she thought about Dream Championship Wrestling. I was personally interested in hearing the answer here, and her smart comment was Dream Champ who? So she's never heard of Dream Championship Wrestling. And yeah, I'll buy that one. Tony Khan was asked the same question. He actually answered in a much more professional manner. I've heard of DCW, never seen DCW. Best of luck to DCW. So we appreciate that, Tony. This was an interesting one regarding the CM Punk attack in the back. Taz chimed in and said, I helped CM kick Rowan's ass. What you gonna do about it? Hashtag ECW. All right, well, we did also get word that it was CM Punk, Taz, Hook, and we do not know who the fourth member was. It is speculated. I'm not going to throw someone under the bus at this time, but there is speculation as to who the fourth member of the attack was. Ric Flair looks like he may want to come back to DCW. That's not going to happen. And then finally, in regards to social media, Matt Jackson, yo Nick, where you at? I need some help over here. Hashtag Superkick Party. We are light on the tag team scene. If a Nick Jackson were to become available, I would certainly consider that. And then Jim Cornette, I don't think referring to DCW. Actually, we don't know. He left his hashtag open, talking about Garbage Mud Show Wrestling. So, not sure what's going on there. But, moving on here, I said big news. The big news was the signing. But we also have a new intro and a new outro to Dream Championship Wrestling. So let's go ahead and share the new intro right now. Alright, hope you enjoyed the new intro. Let's go ahead and jump into some in-game action here. Checking personal advice, I like to do my best to remember to do this every month. There's a rumor Brian Cage isn't happy with his pay. So, it is a business. They think they deserve more given their popularity, and I'm not going to disagree with Brian. So let's go ahead and take care of Brian Cage. All right, as you see, Brian Cage is an A popularity in America, not overly popular anywhere else, but for $2,483 a month, Brian Cage is well worth the price just for his American popularity. So let's go ahead and change his salary. Normally I just give the little bump, and I think the problem is that we're signing talent now and we're getting into the 5 digits. And it is going to make some of these guys aggravated that are making the lower money. But it is a business. It goes both ways. I don't want to cheat anybody. I do want to pay them fairly. But an $800 jump roughly is pretty big in terms of percentages. So let's give him the 27.31, see what he says. Okay, they're satisfied. So there you go, Brian. Little extra coin for you, my friend. And I will mention, I'm not going to put you through this. We have upgraded the gym, which we needed to do in order to close the deal with the new piece of talent. We have restocked the merchandise, so we are pretty much ready to go, ready to jump into the Wheel of Dreams. All right, here we are at the Wheel of Dreams. We have 8 competitors listed. We'll quickly run through who was invited to participate. We only went with the best of the best in Dream Championship Wrestling. So you got Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Kiichiro Asakawa, Charles Young, Brian Cage, Claudio Castagnoli, and Rhino made the cut. You also see new superstar listed. That is the new signing. We're going to keep you guys in suspense for now. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and randomize this. Shuffle slices. So we'll do that one time. So now we're shuffled. Now, what we're going to do with the bracket, I'll pull that up on the screen. I debated how we were going to place the wrestlers. We're going to spin it. The first name is just going to go in the first slot. And then the next spin, I was thinking about putting that person over on the other side of the bracket. We'll go ahead and match them up. So if we spin it and it's Braun Strowman, the next spin is Claudio Castagnoli, then they will face each other in match 1. So that's how we're going to do this. Let's get started. Let's see who the first entry is in the Wheel of Dreams, the really lethal lottery. I'm excited. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? So the new superstar is the first selection. All right, let's go ahead and spin and see who the new superstar is going to face in the inaugural Wheel of Dreams. I'm on the edge of my seat. Claudio Castagnoli is going to welcome the new superstar, and I can tell you, knowing who the new superstar is, this is going to be one hell of a match. All right, let's see who starts off the next bracket. One of our relatively new signings, Kiichiro Asakawa. And let me mention this, something that I kind of glossed over. Claudio Castagnoli and Rob Van Dam are having some issues, some back and forth. Where this comes from, I really don't know. Actually, let me show you something here real quick. Take a look at this. Some interesting news and notes besides our European boost there. Rob Van Dam and Claudio Castagnoli have been feuding for a while. Hostilities finally exploded between them. The industry is in an uproar. Well, I will kind of unearth a secret, if you will. And I do like that term, if you will. You could make a drinking game out of Dream Championship Wrestling. Every time I say if you will, you got to take a shot. Just the Dusty Rhodes promos coming out of me. I certainly had in mind for the big December spectacular to have a title versus title match. And at this point, the way Rob and Claudio have looked, they would have met in December. But because the industry is in an uproar, we might have to go ahead and do this match a lot earlier. We could have our first champ. All right, so to be completely honest with all of you, on this episode, Claudio Castagnoli had two choices. He could either enter the Wheel of Dreams or he could fight RVD for the title. He chose to enter the Wheel of Dreams. He thought it was something the fans would appreciate more. The winner of this gets a shot at RVD anyway, and he said he completely plans on winning this regardless, so he'll get his shot. So with that being said, I might as well announce it now. RVD will be in the main event today, and he will be facing a champion from another organization. We're going to try to do another title grab. Can RVD become a two-time heavyweight champion? We'll find out by the end of this episode. I'm excited to see that, as much as I'm excited to see all of these matchups in the Wheel of Dreams. All right, with Asakawa off the board, let's go ahead and see who he is going to face in his first round matchup. The gentleman that I used to call the superstar, Charles Young. He is now an all-star. And he's had an up-and-down career thus far in Dream Championship Wrestling, but certainly has the ability to win this entire tournament. He will be facing Kichiro Asakawa. All right, with our first two matchups complete and the left side of the bracket filled, let's move on to the right side. Let's see who the first competitor is going to be. Looks like Brian Cage has a little extra money in his pocket, and now he is raring to go. See if he can become the first ever Wheel of Dreams champion and get a title shot. That would be a heck of a matchup. See, could he get his title back? Could he be the first two-time heavyweight champion? All right, we are running out of wrestlers. 3 to go. Who is Brian's matchup going to be? And it looks like big Braun Strowman. And we'll go ahead just for placement's sake and spin the wheel. But we certainly know what the last matchup is going to be. It'll be Brock Lesnar versus Rhino. And Rhino certainly the biggest underdog in this entire tournament. There you go, Brock Lesnar. And we know he will be facing Rhino, so we'll update the bracket with Rhino. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The very first Wheel of Dreams, the Really Lethal Lottery bracket is set. We have an unknown competitor facing Claudio Castagnoli in round 1. That winner will face the winner of Asakawa versus Charles Young. Moving on to the next side of the bracket, Brian Cage, Braun Strowman, a battle of the big men. And then, well, two big men as well. Brock Lesnar, Rhino finish it off. These are 4 outstanding matches, big-time implications. The 4 winners will then face the Wheel of Dreams. They will be reshuffled for round 2. Which will take place on the next episode. Also in this card, you're going to get Rob Van Dam against a champion from another organization. We're actually negotiating with 3 different companies right now to see who he will face. And we might even have an opening match. We might throw somebody else in here. This might be the first 6-match card, I believe. Yeah, we've had 3 5-match cards in a row. We have not grown to 6 matches yet, but depending on the availability of tickets, the venue, etc., we might make this a 6-match card. So buckle up. Let's go ahead and jump into the booking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is the card. We have not finalized the venue yet, but let's go ahead and get going here. We did go with 6 matches. We are starting the night off with Bray Wyatt versus Matt Jackson. Next up, we start the Wheel of Dreams, the Really Lethal Lottery. Cody Rhodes.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Cody Rhodes. That is our new signing from WWE. And like I said, I know they're not going to be happy about this, but, well, you know what? We don't call it the Wrestling Wars for nothing, so we'll see what their next move is. But Cody Rhodes, officially a member of Dream Championship Wrestling, to face Claudio Castagnoli, who is the DFW champion. We refer to him as the Dream United States champion. Kichiro Asakawa, a heck of a wrestler, certainly has the ability to win this whole thing, as does his opponent, Charles Young, looking to rebound and pave a new path for himself in Dream Championship Wrestling. Next up, a battle of former heavyweight champions, Brian Cage versus Braun Strowman. And then the final matchup in the Wheel of Dreams, we have Brock Lesnar taking on underdog Rhino. We then close the night off. Rob Van Dam facing Tokyo Fighting Championship champion Yasuo Tanaka. Can Rob Van Dam capture that title and become a double champ? We'll find out at the end of this episode. All right, so let's go ahead and finalize our venue. As you see, I went up to a medium hall, and shockingly, with this kind of a card, we're not even half capacity. So we're kind of stuck with a small hall, which we sell out. I wish there was a middle range venue that we could get more fans in the building. I hate having a capacity at 3,000, but it is what it is for now. Referee is going to be Tommy Young, of course. You know what, though? Let's try something. Let's go to a medium hall. Let's do some advertising. Let's try a poster. And let's lower the ticket price. Yeah, I mean, we're, I don't want to get back down to the 60. Well, okay. For a $40 ticket, we're going to make $400,000 at the gate. So $400,000 at the gate, or if I do this, then we go back to a small hall, we're making $300,000 at the gate. So I'm thinking, and the more butts and seats, the more merch we're going to sell. So I'm thinking if we do this, this is the better way to go. Can we do it without a poster? We don't sell out. So let's... The poster's only $5,000. But it is a sellout. And I think it is important for the brand to have the sellout, even if we could maneuver some things and maybe make a little bit more money. I think the sellout is very, very important. So we're going to go with this. It's going to be our first event in a medium hall, our first 6-match card. Tommy Young is going to be in there taking care of business as he always does. I'm excited to get going, so let's do it. Wow, that's all I can say. One hell of a card. The inaugural Wheel of Dreams, the really lethal lottery. It lived up to its billing and some. In the opening match of the night, we had Bray Wyatt versus Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson able to get his very first win in Dream Championship Wrestling. And did they start the night off right with a 100% match evaluation? Next up, we started with the Wheel of Dreams opening match. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes taking on Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli is an unstoppable machine. He bypassed a chance at Rob Van Dam's heavyweight championship to enter the tournament. Said he was going to win it anyway, so what does it matter? And he wins his opening match in convincing fashion. Although Cody, nothing to be ashamed of. This was quite a battle, but Claudio pulls it out again. Next matchup in the tournament, Charles Young versus Kichiro Asakawa. Asakawa coming in with a 2-0 record. Charles Young back on the winning track. This is the Charles Young that we thought we signed many months ago. Actually, the very first signing ever of Dream Championship Wrestling. Match eval not all that strong, 76%. I think Meltzer was blind on this one. It was a hell of a matchup. Next, we moved on to the Battle of the Big Men. Brian Cage and Braun Strowman. Very good match evaluation. Back and forth affair. Brian Cage, like we've seen in the past, though, he gassed out. Braun Strowman caught him in a chokehold, and that was it. Braun Strowman takes home the win. And then the final matchup in the Wheel of Dreams tournament. We had Brock Lesnar taking on Rhino. Shockingly, two power guys, and they still pulled off a 100% match evaluation. This was quite a battle. And Brock Lesnar able to get the W. Rhino really was in control and just was not going for the pin. Brock Lesnar caught him in a submission and finished that one off. And then a shocker. The main event of the night, champion versus champion, the Tokyo Fighting Championship heavyweight title on the line. Yasuo Tanaka comes into Dream Championship Wrestling, comes onto our biggest card ever, and defeats Rob Van Dam. 84% match eval. And I will admit, beats him in fairly convincing fashion. The MMA style really overwhelmed Rob Van Dam. Yasuo, no love loss, pulled every dirty trick you could, but still comes out with the win. And a couple final notes before we end this portion of the broadcast. We do want to note that poor Tommy Young received about 30 stitches tonight in the Cody Rhodes Claudio Castagnoli bout. He was hit in the head, went down, busted wide open. He toughed through it. In between matches, he was able to get stitched up, went back out there. Sure enough, in the Brock Lesnar Rhino match, literally at the very beginning of the match. We'll show you both of these instances as I'm talking. Tommy Young is hit again. Stitches explode, bleeding all over the place. A tough son of a gun. After the match, he makes it through. After the match, stitched up even more, but continues on. So not sure if we're going to have Tommy Young for the next event. I think he is concussed, but wanted to give kudos out to Tommy. And we also do want to mention that Kichiro Asakawa was transported. He is being evaluated for a severe neck injury as he was knocked unconscious at the hands of Charles Young. So at the end of the night here, we had a full house, 10,000 people in attendance. I will admit I did not know moving to the medium hall meant that you got to see the entrances of the wrestlers. Had no idea. Completely caught me by surprise. So I'm learning as I go here, being a new promoter. But maybe we can do something to make the entrances a little more special. But we'll work on that as time goes on. Let's go ahead and end this event. So even with 10,000 seats, we still were over capacity by more than 500 folks. Audience loved the show. It will boost our popularity. We finished over 90%, basically 91% average card rating. So very, very happy. Let's check some news and notes from around the wrestling world. And as always, we look really closely for either some guys that we've invited in or WWE and AEW news, and not seeing anything as of yet. So nothing WWE and AEW related. So we had income of more than $500,000. Our expenses, though, were nearly $270,000. Monthly balance, we came away with a profit of over $274,000 to increase our assets to $1.6 million. And moving forward, in the next month, we have a 6-man tag tournament scheduled with SWA. And SWA, they are the top of the food chain. They are the big boy. They dwarf WWE. So this is pretty exciting. We might gain some popularity with this. We also have a singles tournament scheduled with KOG. And it looks like that'll do it. As we move on to November, we're going to save the game. Hold on one second here. And I didn't mention this. We decided before this event to send out every scout at our disposal. So every scout went out. We staggered the months that they were out and about. But it looks like Carlos Velez found Sofia in Latin America. I don't know. Oh no, hold on a second here. Well, okay. Holy moly. I don't know if we're ready to sign a female wrestler yet to the roster, because that's going to take a lot of building to get that division up. But also, I'm getting note here that Rob Van Dam is waiting outside my door. He says his salary is too low. Well, Rob, we're going to take care of you, my friend. He's out there with Bray. Okay, our door might be getting kicked in here. All right, let's sit down real quick with both gentlemen and see if we can work this out with them. So let's go ahead and sit down with Bray first. I mean, $1,000 for Bray Wyatt. That is pretty cheap. I'm not going to disrespect him and go 1-1. We'll do 1-3. Okay, he is satisfied. I don't know if the guys are always just satisfied or if there's anything that they're excited. And of course, Rob Van Dam. And again, with an A popularity. I'm trying not to be a cheap owner. This guy is our world champion. I know he just lost to the Tokyo Fighting Championship heavyweight champion, but I'm going to go all the way up to 1-8 for Rob. And he's just satisfied with that, but he certainly deserves it. Okay. Whew. I thought we might get the you-know-what kicked out of us here by some angry wrestlers, but we're okay. Let's go ahead and close out this episode. Thanks for tuning into Dream Championship Wrestling. Of course, if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. like the video, and then hit us up with some fire emojis in the chat. What did you think about this event on a scale of 1 to 5? Instead of stars, we'll go with fire emojis. Well, you can use stars too if you want. Heck, use anything you want, but give us 1 to 5 in the comments. Let us know what you thought. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope we're putting on good shows for you, and we'll see you next time.